Welcome! Today we are going to dive into one of the most incredible processes in all of biology, meiosis, the great genetic shuffle. This is the reason for the absolute explosion of diversity you see all around you, and believe it or not, it's happening inside you right now.
So have you ever looked at a family, brothers and sisters, and just wondered, how can they have the same parents but look so different from each other? Unless they're identical twins, of course. Well, the answer to that little puzzle is a process that makes sure no two are ever exactly alike.
And that secret is a very special type of cell division called meiosis. Now, it's super easy to get this mixed up with mitosis. Remember, mitosis is what our bodies use to make identical copies of cells for, growth and repair. But meiosis, it's a whole different ballgame. It's not about making clones. It's about making unique sperm and egg cells. Its entire purpose is to shuffle the genetic deck.
Okay, so before we can really get into how that shuffle works, we need to understand the cards we're dealing with. And in this case, the cards are our genetic blueprints, the chromosomes. So, almost every cell in your body is what we call diploid. All that means is that they have two complete sets of chromosomes. For us humans, that magic number is 46. You got 23 from your mom and a matching set of 23 from your dad.
But here's the thing. The entire goal of meiosis is to create haploid cells. And these guys have only a single set of chromosomes. So for humans, that's just 23. This process literally cuts the chromosome number in half, which is why you'll sometimes hear it called a reduction division.
And this is where homologous chromosomes become super important. Just think of them as a match pair. You get one from your mom, one from your dad, they're the same size, and they carry the genes for the same traits, like eye color, for instance.
So let's just put it all together. Our regular body cells? Diploid, made by simple copying through mitosis. But to make sperm and eggs, gametes, we absolutely need meiosis to slash that chromosome number in half. Just think about it. If we didn't, the number of chromosomes would double with every single generation.
All right, now that we've got the basics down, let's get into the action. Meiosis happens in two big stages. And this first one, Meiosis I, this is where the real genetic magic happens. This is the great shuffle.
So, the whole process kicks off in a phase called prophase I. The chromosomes bunch up, they become visible, and then something totally amazing happens, crossing over. This is the first, and you could argue the most important source of genetic variation there is.
So here's how it works. First, those homologous pairs, one from mom, one from dad, they find each other and they buddy up. Then they literally overlap and swap entire sections of their DNA with each other. It's kind of like they're trading genetic recipes, creating brand new combinations that have never ever existed before. And the result? We call them recombinant chromosomes.
Okay, next up is metaphase I. An easy way to remember this one is M for middle. And this is where the second huge shuffling event takes place, random arrangement.
The homologous pairs all line up right down the middle of the cell. But, and this is the key, how they line up is totally random. For every single one of our 23 pairs, it's basically a coin flip, whether the mom's chromosome or the dad's chromosome faces one way or the other. This randomness is a massive source of variation.
Then we hit anaphase I, and you can remember this with A for away. The spindle fibers reach out and pull the homologous pairs apart, with one chromosome from each pair heading to opposite sides of the cell. But check this out. Each of those chromosomes is still made of two identical copies stuck together. We're only separating the pairs right now, not the copies. That comes later.
And that brings us to the end of Meiosis I. The cell splits in two, and we're left with two cells. Now this is critical. Each of these cells is now haploid. It only has one chromosome from each of the original pairs. And, thanks to that crossing over, they're genetically different from each other. But the chromosomes are still in that X shape, which means we need one more division.
So, now we enter Meiosis II. This second stage is honestly a lot simpler, and it looks a whole lot like mitosis. The only goal here is to separate those identical copies of each chromosome.
This stage goes by pretty fast. In prophase II, new spindles form, no crossing over this time. Then in metaphase II, the chromosomes line up in the middle again, but this time it's single file. Then comes the main event, anaphase II. Those identical sister chromatids are finally pulled apart. And finally, telophase II wraps it all up as the cells divide one last time. If there's one thing to really get straight, it's this. This is the most important difference to remember. In the first division, Meiosis I, we separate the homologous pairs. In the second division, Meiosis II, we separate the identical copies, the sister chromatids. That's the whole game, right there.
So,
after 2 full rounds of division, after all that shuffling and splitting, where did we end up? What's the final product of this whole intricate dance?
We get 4. From that one single starting cell, we now have 4 new cells. But what are they like?
Well, each of these 4 cells is haploid. They've only got 23 chromosomes. And because of all that shuffling, every single one is genetically unique. They're different from the original parent cell, and they're all different from each other. These are our finished gametes, sperm or eggs, ready for fertilization.
So let's bring it all the way back to that first question. Why do siblings look different? It's because of this. The 2 powerful engines of variation, crossing over and random arrangement, they guarantee that every single sperm and every single egg is a completely one-of-a-kind genetic package.
And just think about the sheer scale of this for a second. Just from that random lineup in the middle of the cell, there are over 8 million possible chromosome combinations for a single human gamete. 8 million! And that's before you even factor in the nearly infinite variety you get from crossing over. The numbers are just staggering. It really leaves us with a final thought. What does this incredible system for generating variety actually mean for the survival of life on a constantly changing planet? Well, it is the very engine of evolution. Thanks for joining.